That's the good old United States of the Americas, baby. Everybody puts their hand in your pot. Hello, my bosses. How y'all doing in bosses land? To my new bosses, hey girls, hey guys. And to my returning bosses, how y'all doing? Y'all make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you are notified each and every time I drop a video, because we are growing this blossom. Y'all, I'm so excited to start this series. Y'all know Auntie is a series queen, but I wanted to start a series on how to start a business. There are a lot of individuals out there. I think we're just with the climate of the world, and especially the U.S., people are just not gravitating towards corporate anymore. People are now taking the plunge, they're taking the faith leaps, and they want to they're tired, y'all. We are exhausted. We're tired, okay? We're tired. So I decided to start a new series on how to start a business. This is going to be very basic. Very, very basic. I'm trying my best to keep it basic. So as you know, Auntie is an entrepreneur. I have a consulting firm, and as well as many other things that I do. And I just want to make sure that when you're out here, y'all starting these businesses, y'all are running these businesses right. We have a lot of individuals going into content creation, a lot of people, making money off of social media, and just also making money with their talents and their gifts. And we want to make sure that we're moving correctly. So let's get started. The first thing you want to do is come up with your business idea. A lot of people come up with a business idea because of their passions. And I think that is the first thing that you should use as a foundation for your business. Look for what you're passionate in. Look for what you're passionate about. Look for what you're gifted in. Okay? Don't try to start. Well, I'm not going to say don't try, because you can always learn. But I just feel like if you start your business based off of your God-given talent, your God-given gift, it would just catapult, because of the fact that it's just something about working and making money doing what you love to do. That's a whole nother level of adulting. It's a whole nother level of entrepreneurship. And to be blessed to be able to make money off of something you love and you enjoy is just bar none. Like I said, don't get me wrong. You can learn a new skill or trade and build a business from that. So I'm not saying don't. But I would say the first thing you want to do is look at your business idea. What type of business do you want to have? It's like content creating. Do you want to help solve a problem? Do you want to provide a service? Do you want to build something? Do you want to sell? Make sure that there's a market for whatever it is that you decide to do, right? If there's not a market for pink and orange elephants, why are you out here making pink and orange elephants? Unless you can tie it. Now, I'm just that person. I'll find a way to make something work, but unless you can tie it to something that creates a need, because a lot of times your idea or your product or service may be a complementary, what we call a complementary business to something else, meaning that if it's conjoined with another business, it can take off, right? So, but in the initial phase, guys, you want to ask yourself those questions. What type of business do I want to have? What is my business idea? Do I want to provide a service? Do I want to build? Do I want to sell? And is there a market for what I want to offer? Okay. What is your market space for the business that you want to create? Is there a market space, and what is that market space? And that's what we call SWOT analysis in business. By the way, Auntie has an MBA, and Auntie is an entrepreneur, and I've been in corporate for over 30 years, so it is what it is. But what are the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats? That's what we call SWOT in business. That is in this business space that I'm thinking about getting in. That's doing a thorough business assessment, okay? Okay, the next thing you want to do is research your market. People, don't just start a business because you think it's a good idea. Don't just start a business because you're so gifted and very talented doing this particular thing. Okay, do a market analysis, y'all. Research your market. Who are going to be your customers? Okay, like I said, SWOT analysis. Who are your competitors? Who is already out there doing what you're doing? And don't let that deter you, because competitors are what you want when you're starting a new business. Okay, and we'll talk about why competitors are beneficial and how to use the competitive space to help you get a competitive advantage. Okay. Speaking of competitive advantage, a competitive advantage is what makes your business different than the 50,000 ones that's already out there? If you're creating shoes, why should I buy your shoe when I can go and buy 50,000 others just like that? What is that sets your shoe apart? What is that sets your services apart? Okay, this next point, I'm going to speak very loosely about it because we're going to circle back to it in the series, but a business plan. Now, at this stage, I suggest to my clients to start a business plan, and at this stage, it's mostly for them, not so much for what you typically use a business plan for, okay? Because when you write a business plan, it answers all these previous questions in greater detail for you, so that you can now see at a macro level, not a micro level, not a macro level, how your business look, and is it something that you want to pursue. Your business plan should include these things: your target audience or client base, your products or services, what is it you're producing and what services are you providing, your basic marketing plan, how you going to tell the folks about what you got going on, how you going to tell them about your product. Even if you provide a service, that's your product, the service that you're providing. I have a consulting business, so I am providing consulting services. So how am I going to tell the people about that? How am I going to market that and get that out there? And your financial projections. Financial projections is you doing basically a budget for the business. You're estimating a financial projection, because again, mind you, you have not been in business yet, and we'll get into that in another video on how to do a successful financial projection for a business that you have never owned or have not created. Okay, so again, we will do a video on how to create a successful financial projection for your business, given that you've never been in business and this business has not existed for you as of yet. So how do I know what numbers to pull, and how do I know what to include in the budget and the expense report, and how do I know what expenses to include, and what income to include, and how do I know what will be variable and fixed expenses? We'll get into that later, okay? This is the intro video for this series on how to start a business, okay? Next, you want to choose your business structure. A business structure can be in sole proprietorship, which means it's owned under your name, under your social security. Look, business structure, the best way I can tell you all is think of it in terms of taxes. Taxes, okay? Taxes. Who is Uncle Sam going to come after? Honey, when it comes to the taxes, baby, sole proprietorship means he's coming after you directly, because everything will be under your social security number, all of your billings, all of your 1099s, and we'll talk about what that is. But whenever you do business with a client, all of your receipts and expenses will be under your social security number. That is what we call sole proprietorship. The next is what we call an LLC, limited liability corporation. A limited liability corporation is basically, Uncle Sam, your business is its own entity, it's its own person. So in a sole proprietorship, you're the person, you're the business. In an LLC, the business is its own person. So Uncle Sam will come after what the business owns and not your house. And there's different types of corporation setups. We also have what we call partnership. Okay, partnership is simply you and someone else. You have a partner or partners, and all of you all are responsible for the success and failure of the business, as well as when it comes to the taxes. Okay, and there are different ways you can set up a partnership, but we will do a video on business structure later. But in the meantime, you guys can go ahead and start researching these, okay, so that you can decide which would be best for you while you're building your business. You want to come up with your business name. Once you've come up with your business name, you want to get your tax ID number. We're going to walk through how to apply for a tax ID number. It's very simple, very easy, because baby, you got to be able to pay Uncle Sam, okay? So Uncle Sam will give your business a tax ID number, i.e. corporation. Remember, sole proprietorship, you're filing taxes under your social. But if you have a corporation, you do want a tax ID number for your corporation. And it's very easy requesting one of those from the IRS. And I will walk you through that process. That will be its own separate video. Okay? you want to register your business. Now that you've done all of this and you know, okay, I want to make shoes, right? And I know how much it's going to cost. I've done my business plan. I know the market I'm going to target. Not only do I want to make shoes, but I want to make shoes for people who don't have an arch. Not only do I want to make shoes for people who don't have an arch, but I want to make shoes for people who don't have an arch. But I want it to be an adjustable arch or insert where they can adjust it based off of their comfortability. Now, that came off the dome. If you decide to start that business, you better reach out to Auntie so I can get my, my royalties. But I'm just saying that to say this is how niche your business can be, right? You also want to register your business with the local agencies. Some states, some cities require you to have a business license. Well, in order to get a business license in your city, i.e. or state, you would need a tax ID number, or you would need to have your social security number, okay? If you're going to be a sole proprietor, make sure you have a social security number, or if you decide to be a corporation, make sure you have that tax ID number, because you need that in order to register for a business license. That's the next step. You want to go through the process of getting the appropriate business license to conduct your business in different entities. If your city says that in order for you to sell these shoes, and in order for you to have a business running out of the city, we need you to register with us. You need to get you need a business license, and you need or a business permit from our city. You have to do that. You got to do it, okay? And that's also because some people, cities, some local entities require you to pay taxes locally. Honey, everybody. That's the good old United States of the Americas, baby. Everybody puts their hand in your pot. Welcome to America.